Oliver and Zara weren't expecting anything exciting that quiet afternoon. In fact, they were bored. Really, really bored. But all that changed when they discovered a dusty box full of strange, colorful pieces, blocks, buttons, wings, wheels, and one mysterious note that simply read, "Build with heart and it will start." What followed was a wild ride of imagination and invention. From pirate ships that float across the carpet, to dancing teddy bears and disco shoes, to popcorn-shooting flying saucers, every creation they dreamed up came to life. But magic, as they quickly learned, has a mind of its own. When their biggest build, the Mega Mix 3000, begins to create things without them, their home turns into a whirlwind of living toys, singing kettles, and a sky-high tower of chaos. Now, Oliver and Zara must figure out how to fix the mess, using the same magic that started it all. This is a story about friendship, creativity, and what happens when you build with your heart. So open the lid, grab a piece, and let the adventure begin. One quiet afternoon, Oliver flopped onto the carpet and let out the biggest, most dramatic sigh in the universe. "I'm so bored," he groaned. "We've played everything." Zara sat nearby, stacking crayons like dominoes. "Everything?" she asked, tilting her glasses up. "Even the back of the playroom?" Oliver raised an eyebrow. They both turned and looked past the toy bins, behind the shelf, beyond the beanbag jungle. And there it was. A dusty box, almost forgotten. Stickers peeling, one side taped with sparkly ribbon. Oliver crawled toward it and brushed off the lid. "It's just blocks?" he said, peeking inside. But it wasn't just blocks. There were wheels, buttons, tiny wings, even a mini fan blade shaped like a dragonfly. Every piece was bright and strange and humming with a something. And sitting right on top, curled like a sleeping question mark, was a folded note. Zara unfolded it and read aloud, "Build with heart and it will start." They looked at each other. Oliver whispered, "Should we?" Zara nodded. "Absolutely." And just like that, they reached into the box and the magic began. Click, snap, blink. Oliver and Zara were deep in it now, digging, sorting, building. "I think this is the sail," Sarah said, holding up a triangle of thin paper that shimmered like jelly. "No way. That's a wing," Oliver argued, but he laughed anyway and added it to the side of their creation. Piece by piece, their strange little project took shape. It had jelly bean cannons, string ladders, chocolate buttons for windows, and sails made of folded stickers. "A pirate ship," Zara whispered, amazed. "Sort of. It needs one more thing," Oliver said, holding up a small glowing tile. He clicked it into place. Whoosh! The ship jolted forward. It didn't fall. It floated just inches off the carpet. The sails puffed out. The cannons jiggled. The jelly beans inside rattled with excitement. Zara squealed. Oliver nearly fell over. The pirate ship turned on its own and glided smoothly across the room. "It's alive," Oliver whispered, eyes wide. "I think it liked the jelly bean cannon." Zara grinned. The ship let out a soft toot like a horn made of whipped cream and gently bumped into the couch before spinning around for another lap. Oliver and Zara looked at each other, breathless. "What else can we build?" Oliver asked. Zara didn't even answer. She was already reaching for more pieces. The pirate ship floated to a stop and blinked its jelly bean lights as if to say, "What's next?" Oliver and Zara didn't need to be asked twice. They built fast. They built wild. They built things no one had ever thought to build. First came the robot butler, tall, shiny, and very polite. It beeped twice and tried to vacuum the dog. The dog barked, the robot apologized, and the living room erupted in giggles. Next, Zara made a flying saucer. Oliver added popcorn kernels for fuel. When they clicked the hatch, shut zap! It hovered up and started firing popcorn lasers across the room. Pop, pop, pop. Kernels flew like confetti. Then came the giant teddy bear. Oliver gave it disco shoes. Zara gave it a dance button. She pressed it. Big mistake. The bear moonwalked. It boogied. It spun so fast it knocked over the laundry basket. "Sorry, Mr. Fluffles," Oliver shouted, dodging a flailing fuzzy arm. Soon, the playroom was more invention than room. A toaster that sang opera, a mini zoo of toy animals that giggled, a spaceship playground that hovered inches above the ground, spinning slowly, calling to them like a carousel from the stars. Oliver climbed in. Zara followed. The spaceship hummed, flashed, and launched right through the living room, leaving a trail of glitter, bubbles, and stunned silence. Then, slowly, it circled back and landed with a thump. They stepped out, hair flying, eyes sparkling. Zara grinned. "That was amazing!" Oliver nodded. "Let's build something even bigger." They called it the Mega Mix 3000. It had wheels. It had wings. It had arms that could build other arms. It had buttons they probably shouldn't have pressed. But they did. Oliver clicked the final piece into place. A glowing cube with a lightning bolt on it. The Mega Mix 3000 lit up. Bzzz. Clink. Whir. One of its arms spun around and grabbed a pile of nearby blocks. It started building. Zara said, backing up. "Did we tell it what to build?" "I thought you told it," Oliver yelled. They both ducked as the Mega Mix 3000 zipped across the room, tossing pieces through the air like confetti. In seconds, it had created a mini cannon that fired toy rings. Then a robot with pool noodles for arms. Then a tea kettle that sang show tunes. And it wasn't stopping. Worse, everything it built came to life. Soon the room was packed. The dancing teddy was discoing again. The popcorn saucer was launching kernels into the curtains. Flying teapots zoomed through the air, whistling in three-part harmony. And then, it started building up. A tower of toys. Blocks on gadgets on glowing fans. Higher and higher. It pierced the ceiling like a skyscraper of chaos. Zara held blueprints upside down. "It's building without us," Oliver pointed up. "We've got to stop it!" But the Mega Mix 3000 had already moved on. To a laser unicycle. They weren't building anymore. The magic was building them. The room buzzed like a beehive with inventions gone wild. Teacups were breakdancing. Robot snakes slithered through the bookshelves. The tower of toys was now brushing the clouds. "We need a plan," Zara said, hair frazzled, glasses askew. Oliver ducked a flying rubber chicken. "We need a miracle." Zara unfolded the blueprint she'd rescued earlier. It flickered, glowing faintly, still pulsing with the original magic. "Maybe we don't need to stop it," she whispered. "Maybe we just build something better." Oliver's eyes lit up. Something the magic can listen to. Together, they got to work. No wild shapes. No spinning blades. No disco shoes. Just a small, careful creation, a compact machine with a heart-shaped core in the center. Zara adjusted the final crystal piece. Oliver took a breath and pressed the button. Boom, boom. Not an explosion. A pulse. Soft and golden. Like a ripple through water. The Mega Mix 3000 froze. The Tower of Chaos paused. And then, like a reverse domino trail, the magic began to fold itself back. Robots stopped bouncing. Petals landed gently. The Tower of Toys unraveled itself, each piece floating down and stacking neatly. One by one, the inventions powered off, smiled, and faded into quiet. Zara sat back, panting. Oliver blinked. "Did we just—" She nodded. "Yeah, we did." And at the center of it all, their new creation hummed gently, not to build, not to fly, but simply to listen. And the magic listened. The room was still. No flying teapots. No dancing bears. No popcorn lasers. Just two kids and a soft hum in the air. The heart-shaped machine gave one last pulse of golden light. then slowly dimmed to a soft glow. And then, without anyone touching it, the magic builder box slid itself across the floor. Its lid lifted slightly, just enough to pull the last swirling sparkle back inside. Then gently, quietly, it closed. Click. Oliver and Zara stared. Zara adjusted her glasses. Did that just happen? Oliver nodded. Definitely. They sat beside the box in silence, like it might whisper again. It didn't. But as they stood to leave, a tiny bolt, no bigger than a pea, rolled gently across the floor. It tapped the side of the box, and for a split second, the box glowed. Just a flicker. Just enough to say, this story isn't over. Oliver and Zara looked at each other and smiled. The end, for now.